The funding for this video is provided by the amazing members of my Patreon. Also contributions from viewers like you. Thank you. Yeah, I started from PBS Kids. What you gonna do? Fight me? Anyway, roll the video. One thing about me is that on this channel we're going to talk about fandom nonsense, and the Love Island fandom has lost their mind. Lost it and cannot find it. It's specifically fandom nonsense and misogynoir just as well. And I want to make a note. Yes, this is reality TV. Yes, that means they signed up to have people give their unsolicited opinions on them. That being said, it's very telling because it's getting to a certain point where y'all are treating real people like fictional characters, and we need to have a little sit down. Hey y'all, it's Hariana and I'm back with another video. Hi, hello, how are you doing? My name is Hariana and welcome back to The Pirate Ship, also known as Harry's Pirate Ship. I am the captain, you are not my first mate. And I've got no first mate because you want to know why? Bring your ear closer to the speaker so you can hear me clearly. No one's worthy of being the first mate. But hi, hello, how are you doing? My name is Hariana. I like to make content based on nostalgia and family and children's entertainment and all the issues that I find within those spaces. We still got the Pinkie Pie hair in. I was gonna take it out, but I was like, I'm kind of digging it. I actually really like the Pinkie Pie braids that I did. Like, I had a light on. If the lighting changed a little bit, that's because I had turned like the actual light off and I just have my studio light on right now. But today we are going to be having a little discussion on how y'all are treating Love Island like it's Total Drama Island, and it's actually getting very weird. Y'all do not know these people. These parasocial relationships that y'all stay forming with people in the public eye is getting very concerning, and it also doesn't help that a lot of you who are doing this are over the age of 25. Like, I feel like everybody like that had grew up in the United States, we all had like a parasocial relationship with the celebrity at a certain point, but I'm over here seeing people who are in their 30s and 40s speaking so nasty and having such super duper strong feelings about these people from Love Island. And I'm not talking about them like talking shit. That's another thing that we're gonna bring up later. But y'all just like being super duper obsessed with them. And we need to have a little sit down and have a little discussion. And I feel like time and time again, I always get on this channel and talk about how parasocial relationships bad. Y'all don't know these damn people. Like, yeah, we can talk about that. We can discuss that. That's exactly how I was feeling with the entire Corey Kenshin incident that happened like last week, because y'all are going so hard to defend a man that won't even interact with y'all. Beyonce is more likely to interact with you than Corey Kenshin. Beyonce actually interacts with her fans by having concerts and shit like that. That man came back to the internet to try to sell his manga to y'all. I don't know. The thing about that situation is more so about how people were acting than the incident itself, because that situation was deeply showing that y'all get super duper attached to people that you do not know, and it gets to a point where you start projecting your own thoughts and ideologies along to them. But that's a whole nother topic for a whole nother discussion. I want to sit on here and discuss Love Island USA specifically. I want to go ahead and make it clear that I have never watched Love Island. The only thing that I have seen of it is these clips that I specifically watched for this video, because it's becoming apparently clear that a lot of you do not know what a headcanon is, and you guys are very much headcanoning real people, and you can't do that. Once you do that, you're just making up shit, and that's wrong. And by the way, on this channel, we often talk about art and animation and stuff like that. But before we get started, I just want to make a quick little self-promo. I have a shop. My shop is named HarianaHook.com. I have added tons of new things. I have jewelry, I have sunglasses, but the newest addition to my shop has been 3 new My Little Pony bonnets that I've added. I have added a Rarity, I've added a Twilight Sparkle, and I've also added a Fluttershy. So if you're interested in that and would like to support me, completely optional, the links to that will be down below. Now let's go ahead and get into the video. Now I feel like for me to further my reasoning and point of wanting to make this video, I need to give a simple brief rundown on what Total Drama Island is, but just what Total Drama is in general. Total Drama is a Canadian animated series that began airing in the mid to late 2000s on Teletoon, and it was later broadcasted in Cartoon Network in America and other countries. The show is basically a parody of reality television, especially reality TV in the 2000s when it was really starting to become a big thing. Around the time of where Total Drama came out, that was when Pimp My Ride, MTV Cribs, that's when all of those dating shows started to come out. I'm pretty sure Charm School was already a thing, but we all know Flavor of Love was super duper big around this time too. When Total Drama Island was created, this is when reality TV really was taking off. And I know they said the one specific show that this was inspired from was called Survivor. Total Drama Island ended up getting a whole bunch of people. They specifically got teenagers because they marketed this to more of a teen audience. And they are all competing to win a whole bunch of money. That usually is the entire premise of a reality competition show, where people are competing with one another to get money. But what happened on Total Drama, and what happens on a lot of reality shows, regardless if they're a dating show or not, is that people start to catch feelings for each other. They start to form bonds with one another. And Total Drama is infamous for how poorly it portrays relationships. Like, it was okay in the first season, but the more time passed, it got significantly worse. And one thing that we can attest is that pretty much everyone in this show, it started off when they were all like 16, and then later on I'm pretty sure a lot of the contestants that stayed were like 18, 19 in the later run. But we can talk about, yeah, stupid teen relationships. Yeah, we can say that. But also it's just like, it was becoming a train wreck. It's like the writers were doing everything they can to just make this look like an ongoing disaster. And that is reality TV. The producers are always going to be behind the scenes, always trying to do what the fuck they can to keep the storyline going, regardless if it hurts the people that are a part of that show or not. So the reason I brought this to attention is because the way the Love Island fandom has been acting is very similar to how the Total Drama fandom used to act in the 2010s. And why it doesn't bother me so much with the Total Drama fandom is because nobody in that show is a real person. While yeah, Total Drama, everybody in the show is based off of a stereotype, especially the ones that we often see in reality television. The dumb blonde, the party dude, the loud black girl, unfortunately. I can't stand the way LaShawna's character is written on the show. And oftentimes people would have headcanons of what they think the characters in the show would do in different types of scenarios, because they'll be like, I don't think this person would be good friends with this person. Let's pair them up with this one. This relationship actually might work out better than the one that they actually have. While some of the opinions of the Total Drama fandom can be a bit misogynist and racist to a certain extent plenty of the time, when people make up silly little things with these fictional characters, it's not that deep in the end. Because I remember that a lot of people were talking about how they really liked the friendship between LaShawna and Bridget and Gwen and said it was cute. But then you have people on the other hand talking about how they secretly don't think them bitches liked each other. Like, it just be stuff like that. Everyone has their theories when it comes to the Total Drama show, especially Total Drama Island. People usually say that Total Drama Island is the best season because it is the most authentic, and the seasons after it are often trying to replicate what made the first season so special, even though the first season was problematic as hell. I mean, the Total Drama show is problematic in general, but the first season was chef kiss iconic. I personally, my favorite season is season 3, which is World Tour, but I will be the first person to tell you that I think Island is the best season when it comes to structure and setup. Also, I really hate what Total Drama did to my favorite character, Bridget, in season 3, but that's not what we're here for. And seeing the way people were talking about the Love Island cast, specifically from season 6 and the season that just aired from season 7, so much of what y'all were saying was deeply concerning, and I wrote a list of things on my handy dandy notebook that I want to sit and discuss and debunk, and basically just discuss how y'all don't know these people and these are not fictional fucking characters. These are not cartoons. Hi, editing me here. This is something that I forgot to write down in my notes, but I felt as though somebody in the comment section was going to address this. And this actually was a point I wanted to talk about. People are really weird about the Love Island cast because it is that thing that people do where they like to obsess over celebrity couples. And one thing when it comes to shipping and fandom is that people tend to obsess over ships. I'm one of those people that has like a lot of ships. Everybody that knows what my top 3 ships are. Shipping, I have no problem at all when it comes to shipping. When it comes to the Total Drama series, it's pretty known that I was a big shipper of Bridget and Jeff. But my top 3 ships of all time are Ben and Evie from Descendants, Gabriel and Natalie from Miraculous Ladybug, and that cross ship between Toji from Jujutsu Kaisen and Megara from Hercules. But when people, it's one thing to obsess over a fictional ass ship, and it is another to be obsessed with a real life couple that are real people. I will always think it is strange when people are super duper obsessed with a relationship. This behavior is not normal. And when I say obsessed with a relationship, y'all know I mean a real life relationship. These are real, living, breathing people, not fictional characters that you could push your headcanons on. I don't know. I don't have a problem with people liking the Love Island cast and following them on social media, this and the third, but this is most likely just a personal thing. I'm somebody that doesn't like couple channels. I don't care for couples content or anything like that. I just do not think people need to be obsessed with other people's relationships. Nobody's relationship is perfect at the end of the day. And even when it comes to friendships, I don't think people should be obsessed with other people's friendships either. It's just, yeah, we don't know these people. We shouldn't be so obsessive over these things. I don't know. I think that's one of the major things of why I can't really get into Love Island, because so much of that fan base is obsessing over celebrity couples, and that is just something that I am just so far removed from. Alright, back to the video. So the first thing I want to talk about is that people think that the PPG are not real friends. Now, you hear PPG and you're an animation fan, you probably thought of the Powerpuff Girls. Okay, we are talking about the Powerpuff Girls, but there are 3 members from Love Island USA in season 6 where people called them the Powerpuff Girls because the girls reminded them of them, and that is Leah, Serena, and Janae. One of the reasons why Love Island USA season 6 was super duper popular is because they really did enjoy watching the female friendship develop between the 3 of them. Even though Love Island is a dating show, this was something special for a lot of people because they really like this bond that all of them formed, aside from, like, you know, the main challenge of the series, finding love. Finding romantic love specifically, because you can love your friends. It's okay to love your friends. It's okay to say you love them, y'all. People were acting as though that they were just putting on a show for the camera, which they can say because it's reality TV. That's literally what the point of it is. You're supposed to be entertaining people. But there's like a certain demographic of Love Island fans that want the PPG to have a friendship breakup so bad, and it is really, really weird. Like, people just have so many theories about how they don't think Leah is actually friends with Serena and Janae. Like, it's just so out of the ass, and they're just making all these assumptions about their friendships. At the end of the day, y'all don't know these people. I'm probably gonna make that point after every little thing I want to discuss with y'all opinions about Love Island, but they are just so stuck on the fact that Leah is friends with 2 people like Serena and Janae. Like, they just cannot believe it. It's just so beyond them. And it's one thing if people want to talk about how they felt as though the women said some things to each other that they don't like, but you know, friends have disagreements often. They usually make up if they're mature enough to have that discussion, and we've seen that they did with like a lot of the press that they were doing for the show, like afterwards, where they're like, yeah, we got into a little argument and then we debunked that shit. But like, from all the things that I have seen, and I have watched Leah's YouTube channel, I have watched Janae's YouTube channel, everything looks fine. Y'all don't know these people, and they don't have to air out their business. Like, all these little theories that y'all have saying they ain't friends, you know, people are just really weird about the PPG in general, because I don't know, do y'all not have genuine friends? Like, do y'all not like y'all friends or something like that? Because I feel like something not right with your own friendships when you see them. Like, I don't know. Okay, the next thing I saw from the Love Island fandom is that people were saying that Janae was bullying Drea. And when I went and looked at what happened, I will go ahead and tell you this. Janae was not bullying Drea. She was standing up for her homegirl Leah. But seeing that everybody was trying to push this narrative that Janae was bullying Drea when she pulled out the list of the things where she was like, that did not happen. This happened on this day. I don't know what you're talking about. You're making up shit. Do not be coming from my girl Leah. People can say that Janae was being a little bit messy, but at the end of the day, she was doing what she could to defend her. Because Drea, from the things I've seen, I'm like, I could see why Leah was giving it to you. But let me tell you this, the Love Island fandom, not that much different from the Total Drama fandom. Y'all have a lot of issues with misogynoir, especially when it comes to dark-skinned black women. Because I'm not only seeing the same thing happen with Janae, and I've seen this happen with Shelly and Olandria, that y'all are just trying to paint these women out to be bullies. And when I go and look and see what was going on, I'm like, that was not the case. I feel like a lot of you act as though black women have to be super duper quiet in order not to seem problematic at all. Like, there's nothing wrong with a black woman standing up for herself. There's nothing wrong with a black woman being a bit outspoken. And there was nothing wrong with what Janae did when she pulled out that list of receipts to help Leah when Drea was coming to come for her. Like, I don't know. I just get really irritated when I see a lot of people get on to Janae. I really do think a lot of y'all problems with these black women on Love Island just have to do with the fact that they are not only black, but they're also dark skinned. But like, y'all making up this fan fiction about Janae bullying Drea, that wasn't it. I'm sorry. That's not what it was. Remember, these are real people. This is a reality show. This is not a cartoon. Y'all don't know these people. Okay, the next thing with the Love Island fandom I want to dive into. I want to talk about this first before I get into the next part. But people were saying that they felt as though Shelly and Olandria were bullying Huda, like how people were saying that Janae was bullying Drea. No, that was not it. I looked at it and I was like, no, it just seems like they were getting sick and tired of Huda's bullshit. One thing about me is that I notice how a lot of you like to push this villain narrative onto dark-skinned women, especially when it's up against a lighter-skinned woman of color, and I'm not falling for the propaganda. From all the things that I have concurred about Huda, she is somebody that I don't particularly like all that much. She reminds me a lot of Bad Baby. And y'all already know I can't stand her. Like I said, at the end of the day, I don't know these people from the things that they have, but from the things that are put out about them, I do not necessarily care too much for them. But a lot of the stuff that I have seen with Huda's behavior, it's pretty understandable of why they got irritated with her. And it's not just Olandria and Shelly that were getting irritated with her. It was other people in the villa too, especially the ones that wasn't black. So I don't understand why y'all wanted to pick the fight with them. Like I said, that fandom has a misogynoir problem, but there was something that happened with Huda. Like I said, you don't have to like a woman to stand up for her. Go watch my video where I was talking about how you don't have to like Bad Baby to feel bad for her and have sympathy for her. But Huda recently was on the Call Me Daddy podcast, which I say is a podcast that is for white women that only care about dating and are super duper obsessed with celebrities. Huda did talk a bit about her past, and I'm pretty sure she had spoken up about how she had dealt with some SA in the past. And one thing about me, I'm gonna believe victims, regardless if I like them or not, because that's feminism. Feminism is standing up for women that you don't necessarily like too much. And Huda, terrible, annoying. Every single last thing I have seen about her from the research that I concurred to make this video, she doesn't seem like a person that I would want to vibe with. She's somebody that I would like to keep at a distance, very far away from me. But there's no such thing as a perfect victim. And I think this perfect victim complex is why we have to do so much better about the way we talk about SA and just like the brutalization of women in general. Because people were sitting here and saying that they felt as though Huda was making it up. They felt like she was lying about what she had said. But that is not something for you to decide. That is not up for you to believe in. It's one thing if this was a character or cartoon show about fictional characters and this character was said something about something that happened to them in the past, and people in the fandom want to be like, I feel like they're lying. I feel like they're not telling the truth about this. These are not fictional characters. Huda is a real person. It is not up for you to determine if her trauma is true or not simply because you don't like her. And the last little thing that Love Island fandom done upset me about, I want to talk a bit about this Kaylor projection that y'all just love to put out. Because Kaylor honestly ain't that bad. She was just a white girl that cried too much. Not too much because I cry a lot too. But she was a very emotional woman and she's pretty young too. She's still about in her early 20s. People were saying that Kaylor is a lot like Huda. And when I went back and looked at so much of what was going on with Kaylor last season, the only thing that I could say was similar with Huda is that they just cried a lot. And I feel like when it comes to the Love Island fandom, they trying to find every little excuse to just not like these people. Fandoms for shows, specifically fictional shows, do this all the time where they will make up something as an excuse to why they don't like a fictional character and then just run with it. And at the end of the day, I'm just like, it's not a real person, it ain't that deep, let's move forward. But these are real people. If you just want to sit here and say that you don't like Kaylor because you think she cries too much, just say that. Like, literally just say that. You don't have to make up shit about why you don't like her. If you don't like her because you think she cries too much, fine, whatever, move on. There's no reason just to make up things about her because you think she's overly emotional and did the most. See, I threw my little notepad over there, but I just really wanted to get on here and rant because I just been getting really annoyed with so much of this Love Island discourse because it's inescapable right now. Love Island is the new Euphoria. You can't go anywhere without seeing something about it. Every single last platform I'm on, even fucking Pinterest, people are talking about Love Island. That series makes overnight celebrities. It's a big deal whether we like it or not. But just because a show is super duper popular doesn't mean that we can't forget that it isn't always fiction. Like, yeah, I know we talk about celebrity gossip, this and that and the third. I personally don't care too much to talk about celebrity gossip unless it has to do with something that is very serious, like the Diddy trial. But the feelings that y'all have towards the people, like specifically the people that have negative feelings about them, are super duper strong. And it's just like y'all are making up shit at this point. Like, you can't headcanon real people. Regardless of how much you can't stand them, you can't headcanon them. Alright? But yeah, I just want to get on here and rant. I just want to get on here and rant about like fandom nonsense. Didn't want this video to be super duper long. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed it. If anybody cares to know about my thoughts on Love Island, I don't care enough, but I think PPG are cute and I like their friendship. And Olandria and Shelly are gorgeous. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Have a great day, night, whatever time of the day you chose to watch this video. I'm just thankful that you watched it with the ads on. Alright, thank you. Goodbye.